Welcome to Folklore Chronicles-k stories. In this episode we are talking about the village river dried up after a mermaid was k. Lulled. Now let dive into it. Ekin clutched the infant sea creature tightly to his chest and dashed into the thickets as swiftly as his legs could manage. The night was still and dark. Clouds swallowed the moon, and the forest whispered with nothing but crickets. In the distant settlement of Umuocha, a hunter named Ekin was returning from the wilderness. Ekin was a tall, muscular man with long strides and broad shoulders. His raffia hunting sack dangled across his back, while his rusted Dane gun rested on his arm. That night had not been generous. He had spent countless hours crouching, stalking, and waiting, yet managed to bring down only a frail bushbuck. Weariness sat on his body, hunger gnawed at his belly, and thirst parched his throat. As he dragged his tired steps homeward, he remembered Cume Stream, not far from the path. Cume was famous in the community. Mothers often warned children never to loiter there after dusk. Legends claimed water maidens made their dwelling there. Others whispered that spirits arose at night to dance beneath the moon and sing songs no human tongue could mimic. Ekin, however, had no fear for such tales. He was a hunter, a man who trusted what his eyes could see and his hands could grasp. Stories are for children, he told himself. Water is only water. He bent at the water's edge to drink. But then, he froze. A figure gleamed under the pale moonlight. Upon a smooth boulder sat a woman, her hair long and dripping, glittering like woven silk. She rocked a child in her arms, humming softly. At first, Ekin thought she was simply a villager's wife rinsing herself with her baby. But when his eyes traveled downward, his breath caught. The woman's lower body was no flesh and legs. It was a gleaming tail, shining with emerald and silver scales that dipped lazily in the stream. A mermaid. Instinctively, Ekin crouched behind a shrub. His pulse raced, not in terror, but in exhilaration. He recalled drunken conversations at the palm wine hut. If you seize a water maiden, or even her offspring, wealth will follow you forever. Some said the tears of such beings brought fortune. Others claimed strangers from faraway kingdoms would trade heaps of gold for even a single merchild. Ekin's thoughts blazed. If he captured that child, his poverty would end. Even if he could not sell it, the creature might buy him favor with chiefs or traders. This was the chance of a lifetime. The maiden seemed lost in her lullaby. She smiled, cradling the child as the river itself seemed to hum with her. She did not glance around. She did not sense him. Slowly, Ekin placed his bag on the ground, fingers brushing his firearm. Killing her outright was not his plan, only to wound, just enough to steal the infant. Step by step, his feet glided silently over the damp earth. He raised his gun, fixed on her back. The air stilled. Only the gentle splash of her tail disturbed the silence. Then, bang! The gunshot thundered. Birds shrieked from trees. The maiden screamed, a piercing sound like wind whistling through bamboo. She dropped her child to clutch her bleeding side. Before she could dive, Ekin lunged into the water and tore the infant from her arms. Her glowing eyes locked on his, trembling lips shaping a curse, "You will suffer." A shiver pricked his spine, but he dismissed it. "Empty words," he muttered. With one last flick of her tail, the wounded mermaid slipped beneath the waters and vanished. The infant in his arms bore tiny glistening scales along its spine, with eyes like glassy pools. The babe did not cry. It only gazed. "You belong to me now," Ekin murmured, wrapping it in cloth. The forest air grew thick, heavy. Somewhere far off, a mournful melody rippled across the water, but Ekin hardened his heart. He avoided the main path, darting through hidden trails. Branches clawed at his arms, puddles splashed under his feet, yet he pressed on. The child made strange noises, a bubbling sound between sob and brook. In his mind, Ekin already envisioned riches, farmland, cattle, a large homestead. He would never starve again. The mermaid's curse echoed faintly, but he forced it away. At dawn, he reached his hut unnoticed. Inside, he placed the infant on a raffia mat. The small creature blinked with wide, calm eyes. Silver specks shimmered on its back. Ekin whispered, "You are more precious than treasure." But deep below stream, the wounded maiden wept. Her tears merged with the currents, stirring them wildly. Other river spirits gathered, anger rumbling in their voices. Her sorrow turned to fury. Her curse was no empty vow. Morning arrived in Umuocha. Women swept courtyards, children played, men sharpened cutlasses. 3 women, clay pots on their heads, walked toward stream. But upon arrival, they stopped cold. The riverbed lay barren. Cracks split the earth, fish twitched helplessly on dry soil. "Abomination," one woman gasped. Another dropped her pot, it shattered into shards. They fled, screaming, "The river is gone." The villagers rushed to see, and shock swept through them. An elder shook his head. "The spirits are offended." A boy was sent running to summon Udo, the village priest. Udo, ancient and bearded, arrived with his staff and charms. He knelt, picked up a dying fish, and whispered incantations. The wind shifted. Silence fell. At last, he spoke, "The river reveals a crime. A spirit has been wounded. Its child stolen. Unless the child is returned before sunset, famine, sickness, and drought will curse us." Fear spread through the crowd. No thief stepped forward. Udo's gaze swept the faces. He raised his staff, "Return the child today, or perish." Inside his hut, Ekin trembled. He clutched the child as villagers outside whispered, "Mermaid's child. Bring it back." Sweat beaded his face. The infant blinked, a sound like waves escaping its lips. "You will suffer." A knock rattled his door. His 2 sons entered, pale with fear. They spoke of the priest's warning. Ekin tried to dismiss it, but soon their eyes discovered the hidden infant. Shock widened their faces. He hushed them frantically, bribing them with promises of wealth. But his younger son dashed to tell their mother, Chiamaka. Chiamaka stormed into the hut. She uncovered the babe and gasped, "Ekin, what evil have you brought upon us?" "I will sell it," Ekin snapped. "We will be rich." "I will not share in this abomination," she cried. "If you keep it, I leave with my children." He waved her off. "Go if you wish. I will not return it." That night, Chiamaka wept. The priest's warnings haunted her. The river's vengeance frightened her. She thought of fleeing, or perhaps exposing her husband's crime. Meanwhile, Ekin sat sleepless, eyes fixed on the infant's unblinking gaze. In the silence, he thought he heard dripping water inside his hut. Before dawn, whispers spread. A neighbor's child confessed what Ekin's son had revealed. News reached Udo. The priest and elders marched to Ekin's compound. His wife met them, trembling. "He is gone. The child is gone." They rushed to stream. To their astonishment, water flowed again, sparkling as though nothing had ever happened. Then, a figure emerged, Ekin, walking slowly, head bowed. "My brothers," he said, voice quivering, "forgive me. I stole the child, hoping for wealth. But my wife's words pierced me. Happiness cannot be built on sorrow. I returned the child and begged for mercy. Spare the village." Silence fell. Then Udo smiled. "You have done well." His wife embraced him in relief. From that day forward, Eacon's hunts flourished. His traps never failed, his name spread beyond Umuocha. Prosperity came, not from stolen magic, but from repentance. And whenever he passed Cume stream, he paused, gazed at the waters, and remembered, the greatest fortune flows from choosing what is right.